Oh. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head. I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Yeah. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. I ain't tryna drain my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my grind, yeah. Have a little faith and go to work. Go to work. I'm gonna ride like every day, 'cause I want everything. I can do anything. Check my resume. It's people against you. They see what you've been through. But look in the mirror, tap into your spirit. It's power within you. Like LinkedIn, I'm locked in. Get the job done when I clock in. I weighed out my options, put the work in. That's action, no lacking, just stacking. Big dreams I'm attracting, no accidents, that's fate. Just go in and have a little faith. And faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head. I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network, I ain't gotta do it by myself. Who you know, show me who you know. Better let them know we bout to blow. It's time to go, go, go. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. Go to work, get to work, yeah. Go to work, yeah. I ain't tryna trade my time, yeah. Simply wanna show you what I'm worth, yeah. Daily I'ma stay on my grind, yeah. Have a little faith and go to work. Go to work. Okay, now go nuts.
Hey there, I'm Trevor Houston, the creator of the Who You Know Summit, and I'd like to welcome you to the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
On our program, we'd like to show you a job search like you've never seen.
Everything from getting noticed by employers, how to properly format your resume, and how to network effectively using LinkedIn to drive recruiters to your profile.
We even take suggestions from our amazing community.
So if you want to learn all things job search, go ahead and subscribe now.
Focus! It's all about the job search. So if you want to learn how to land that next success, you heard them. All you got to do is subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on a thing.
Welcome to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know can make all the difference in your job search.
What he said.
who you know, man? Well, let me tell you who I know. I'm super excited. Man, I'm gonna tell you, I've been thinking about this interview for a little while, and I'm excited because we got the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Leak in the house. Man, Ryan, what's good?
Yeah, he's been pumping this up, so he got some.
Yeah.
That sounds like a football name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day if I was in the MLB, and I was like, I'm not.
Well, we had a Ryan Leaf one time that was quarterback
Yep.
in the NFL, yeah.
That's right.
Well, Ryan is like my Cub fam, so he doesn't even really know this, but you know, I mean, we're like family.
We are.
We're fam.
We are.
Yeah. So I'm real excited that you're here today, and we're gonna dive in just a moment. But I'd like to go to the audience. Let's see who we got online with us. What do we got?
We got Minnie Wade. We got there's Hope. We've got there's a whole
Cat
bunch of people.
O'Toole is in
Susan
there.
Young, Scott Maker, what's good? Jane, how are you? Mike Mediterranean,
Mike is
congratulations.
there.
Mike
Right,
got a
Mike?
job, and he loaded us up with donuts.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sugar. Got all that sugar last week.
Dion Mayers, good to see you.
There's
Krista.
Jeremiah Banda, Trevor.
Hey, Jeremiah, that's my brother from
Yeah,
Illinois.
that's a man, 50 grand right there.
Chandra, good to see you from Garland. Hey guys, do me a favor, let us know where you're tuning in from. We do get people from all over the place.
Lena
so-
Stutes in Houston. The
Yes.
Stutes Boost.
Love it, love it, love it. Guys, we always like to bless the show with a prayer for the listeners. So today, we got a pastor with us today. Ryan, I thought, would you do us the honors?
I would be glad to.
Thank you.
Let's do it.
All right.
Lord, I thank you so much for the opportunity we have to be on this show and to be able to minister to people today. And Lord, I just pray that each and every person that's listening, God, I just pray that you would order their steps. I pray that they would know that their life, their career, their path is truly in your hands. And I pray that by the end of this show, they would trust you just a little bit more. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 All right, well, we got a lot to be thankful for and grateful for. A lot of landings. So
I got a ton of landings.
get your
I
donut
got
emoji.
A ton of landings.
How many you got?
Well, I've got like 18, 19, 20
Man.
from Foster. So we got a bunch of landings.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cash flow. Get your
cash
guns ready.
Get the gun.
All right, so here we go.
Who do we got?
Shotgun style, Derek Smith, Jamie Cornahan, Kripa I'm going to butcher this, hopefully not, but Raghavendran.
Cash flow.
Yeah, Oceana Castaneda, Raman Jones. You know Raman Jones. Paul Walsh.
Paul
Congratulations.
Walsh.
Matt Giordano, Jeff McDonald, Carter Gavin, Marcy Arriaga.
Yes.
Kate Van Poppel. Mandy
Yeah,
Jarman. Oh, I'm out of money.
Are you out of money? I got some over here.
Brian Kinder, Kimberly Palmer, Dana Hollingsworth. I think
Dana
you might know Dana
Hollingsworth.
Hollingsworth. And Foster, you had Anthony Coley, Sharon Wilbanks, and
Anthony,
Francesca Hollis.
Francesca.
Guys, you are back to your cash flow. Congratulations. For those of you that are not on this list and are searching, let it be an inspiration to you. Reach out and connect with these folks because they have landed.
Yeah.
They got hired. Guess what? That company might still be hiring.
More than likely, that company is hiring.
More than likely. Yep.
Yeah,
We're all
and
trying
it's
to
also,
snap
it's
back.
also good to reach out to these people to figure out how they did it, what worked, what didn't work.
Yeah.
You know, success leaves clues. So go, you know, plug in with those folks and figure out what's going on in the job search.
Yep. Yeah. So, and also, I think I've got the tip of the day.
What you got?
Tip of the week. Actually, tip of the week. So, all right, guys. Perception is reality, right? Perception is reality. And so, a lot of times when we're getting interview calls and we're getting phone screens and people are trying to schedule us in to talk with them, we're just grabbing, right? Whatever they're offering, we're grabbing. And so, you know, we always want to look and appear like we're coming from a position of power. You want to come from a position of power, not of weakness. And so rather than just taking anything that's thrown at you, create some perception, right? Create some perception that you are in demand. So what I mean by that is when you get that call from a recruiter, hiring manager says, hey, you know, we'd like to bring you in for an interview. Can you come in Thursday morning at 8 a.m.? What can you do? Well, you can manage that expectation, manage their perception, and say, hey, you know, due to my busy job search schedule, that time doesn't work for me. Do you have something, and here's what I would suggest, part of the tip, mid to early afternoon, right? So don't come in, be the first person, don't be the last person, come right in the middle, make a good impression, and control your destiny that way. So create that perception that you're in demand, and also that gives you, you know, time to prepare even in the morning hours of the day for that interview. So you're not just hitting it right from the get-go. So
Well, one of the things I'll say is, to your point there, is that A lot of times job seekers will just immediately, the phone's ringing, they're immediately picking it up, right? And they're like put on the spot, right? You're put on the spot too. So to be able to schedule your interviews is a really good thing. Don't just take an interview right on the spot. Just because they call you right then and there, you're not prepared. Are you prepared? So you might want to schedule it.
Good thought. That's a good thought.
So good point.
So control, right? Take the control back. How many of you want control? We talked about that
in the summit. Yep.
You want control.
You got to take some control back.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. So why don't we do this?
Okay.
Today, I'm super excited because, Ryan, we're going to be talking all about your new book and chasing failure, and I'm real excited about that. I've actually got a quick video I want to cue up right before we go to the break. So, guys, don't go anywhere. Take a look at this video. We'll be right back.
When we were kids, we had no problem telling anyone what we wanted to be when we grew up. We were fearless. Could be a business owner, movie star, professional athlete, astronaut, president. It was all on the table. And then our 20s gave us a crash course on adulting. We all too quickly moved from what we dreamed of doing to what we believed we had to be doing. We don't have time to dream or think outside the box. We're busy surviving. Adulting comes with bills, and most of our dreams rarely come with health insurance. If we're honest, the biggest reason we don't pursue our dreams is because, well, the distance between our dreams and our realities is often intimidating. But what would you do if I told you you don't actually have to get over the fear of failure to move from where you are to where you want to be? Chasing Failure is a book I've written to encourage you to do just what you've dreamed of doing, scared. That's right. Just do it scared and take really good notes. Here's the deal. When you're chasing failure, you're either going to eventually win or you're going to learn. Hopefully both will happen. And I believe you'll walk away from this book knowing that chasing failure will take you further than chasing success ever will.
I know I had more potential than just breaking my back every day for minimum wage, and I knew that there was a lot more out there for me. I just had to find the opportunity to get that. When working from paycheck to paycheck, one of the things that you worry about most is just, paying the bills. The biggest fear for me would be just not knowing, what the next week was going to hold or the next month was going to hold, not being sure of my future. Stopped working for the company that I was working for, and that's when I found Perscolas. Looking back on it now, I can only just think about the opportunities that I've been given from Perscolas and the people that work with Perscolas. And I wouldn't be here at Turner today if it wasn't for that opportunity. I wouldn't have the confidence that I have today if it wasn't for my opportunity.
Hi, my name's Michaela Price, and I have 17 years experience learning, discovering, researching, and developing my skills as an instructional designer. I design, create, and deliver impactful and relevant learning experiences in order to help organizations grow. And organizations who don't grow stagnate. But I have the skills and experience to be able to take that learning and growth to the next level. If you know someone in your company you could connect me with who might be able to help me decide if I'm the right fit and my strengths are the right strengths for that company, I so thank you in advance. If you know of other companies you could connect me with and people, I appreciate that too. Thanks.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know?
Who you know?
Who you know?
All the difference in your job
Who
search.
do you know?
Guys, I'm super excited. I've got the honor and privilege today to be interviewing one of my Cove Church family, Pastor Ryan Leak. And let me formally introduce you, Mr. Ryan. So, Pastor Ryan is an author, speaker, executive coach, and podcaster. He's known for 2 documentaries, The Surprise Wedding and Chasing Failure. Today, his career is split 50% speaking in churches and 50% doing executive coaching and speaking in corporate America through his company, Ryan Leak Group. Everybody, warm welcome for Ryan Leak.
All right, Ryan. Thanks for joining us. Ryan, are you from here in the Dallas area?
I am originally from Chicago.
Oh, hey. So that mean you're a Bears fan?
Basketball.
That's a Bulls?
Mark was fishing for that.
Well, you got to be.
Jordan fan.
Jordan fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm more of a player.
Right. Well, I'm from
fan.
Illinois, too, northern Illinois.
What part?
Freeport, a little town called Freeport,
Oh, yeah.
west of Rockford.
I actually grew up in Rockford. Most people don't even know what Rockford is. But
So you say Chicago,
So I say Chicago, but it's Rockford.
So you know where Freeport is then?
Oh,
Yeah,
we
you're
played
from
Freeport in high school.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. You know, our mascot was the Pretzels.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were the Freeport Pretzels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not a dad joke
I've
either.
never met anyone from Freeport outside of Freeport.
Interesting. Very
amazing.
interesting.
You know what is interesting is every time we have a conversation, everyone is from
I
Chicago.
gotta, yeah.
We
No,
have
I'm serious. There's more
load.
people from Chicago in Texas than there is from Texas.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, I was born
No,
and raised
there's
in
a
the Kingdom.
there's a transplant for sure.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yes.
Portillo's might be coming here, by the way.
Gosh, I hear
No.
about
We
that.
might get a Portillo's.
No.
I went to
Get-
Phoenix 2 weeks ago to go to Lou Malnati's.
I'm out of here. I'm going to find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Blackhawks?
Basketball only.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Well, you're a tall guy, yeah.
He keeps
Yeah.
telling y'all basketball.
Yeah.
All right. So I always like to ask a question to break the ice here. So
Yeah.
given the context of chasing failure,
Yeah.
would you rather have a time machine or a teleport?
Ooh.
Teleport.
Teleport. Why?
Teleport.
Teleport. I'm extremely impatient. Yeah, extremely impatient. Traffic, flights, and I fly, 3-4 times a month. So if I could teleport and just be there, oh, it'd be awesome.
That would be pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, time. I guess if I could go back in time, maybe I would change some things, but teleport would be much more.
I like that answer. That's a good answer because I'm
What about you,
impatient too.
Foster?
Teleport. So I could be right there. We deal with the situation as it is right there, and
Oh yeah. Oh, and thinking about like stuff that like happens with my kids that sometimes I can't make, to be able to be there
Yeah.
and then go back to
Yeah.
wherever I'm at.
I think I'm a time machine.
Yeah.
Time
I'm a
machine?
time machine, yeah.
Where
Would you go forward or backward?
So I would go backwards. I mean,
Oh,
look,
yeah?
look like Back to the Future, right? Look at Biff getting those numbers, and you know what I mean, like,
But you wouldn't go to the future and take someone else's idea?
or if you take some, that's. I mean, it's only once though. It's
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, that was just a question.
Yeah. What
Time
about
machine
you?
or teleport?
But no, you have a time machine, which means it's ongoing.
Yeah.
You own
Yeah,
the machine.
you're in
Use
that
and
time,
reuse,
and
rinse
you
and
gotta.
repeat. Rinse
Yeah.
and repeat. What about you?
I kind of like the teleport. That's a good answer. The way you framed it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's done is done in the past. So I'm not trying to go back and change anything. What's done in the past. And I don't really, I wouldn't care to speed up the future. You speed up and go to the future. So probably teleport. That's a good answer. I like that.
I'd love to do the dinosaur thing, teleport.
So, okay, I got another question for you. So I know that this isn't always the case, but I find, and especially even in my own personal life, that I find that most people are a product of their environment.
Yeah.
Good soil produces good fruit. Would you agree with that statement? And as a follow-up question to that, so I got to kind of know, because you're a pretty successful person, what did your childhood look like? Where you come from? What's your background look like?
Well, I'll answer both questions with that. I grew up in a pastor's home. My parents were amazing, and they created so much great soil. I actually believe that a lot of my success, I work hard, so do a lot of people. A lot of people write books, a lot of people speak, a lot of people pastor, a lot of people have businesses. But I truly believe that a lot of the success that we've had as a company, I've had as a person, has been because of the seeds that my parents sowed. I don't doubt that whatsoever. And so I think it's very important. I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, a pastor friend of mine here in Dallas, And I was just telling him about just some doors that had just opened that were just unbelievable. That like just completely didn't make sense. And I said to him, I said, here's the weird part. I feel like I didn't pray for this stuff. I didn't pray for these doors to be opened. I was very content with what I was doing. I didn't pray for this stuff. And he said something I'll never forget. He goes, yeah, but your dad did.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
He said, yeah, but your dad prayed for these things.
Go ahead.
And so
Drop
I'm gonna drop that mic. Yep.
Forget Mike. That's money.
That's money.
and so what I teach people now is to say, hey, don't do it for you, do it for your kids. Get some seed in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you may not even see the fruit of that on this side of eternity. Because my dad passed, 3 or 4 years ago. I was talking to my mom yesterday. And we were just talking about, just even more doors that have opened up for me, even this week. And she just said, I just continue to just think of your father. She goes, I sowed some seeds too. I'm like, I know, Mom. I give you credit too. But I think it's very important that you understand the principle of good ground. I think good ground can be a church that you're sowing into. I think sowing into good people. I think you can be looking for good ground. I think you can also be good ground. And so I think a lot about that on a regular basis, actually.
Did you, because you're a PK, right?
Yeah.
So your father was in the ministry. Did you go through a season of your life that you question? Growing up in a believing family, did you ever get to the point where you walked away from that, or you?
Is there any rebellious?
Yeah, some doubts and that season
Where's the
of your
dirt?
life?
I need some dirt.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, okay? Which is just a black church, okay? For everybody trying to figure that out, okay?
Yes, sir.
So my dad had a stroke when I was in 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so he was instantly forced into early retirement.
Okay.
And so I was attending this private school that was all white, pretty much. It was predominantly white. And it was connected to this predominantly white large church. And so my parents were like, hey, we don't have a church anymore. Why don't you just go to church with your friends? So I went from this all black small church to this very large white church.
Yeah.
And so I'll never forget the first time I walked into large white church. They had donuts. They had food in the lobby. I was like, what is this? You had to bring your own snacks at my church. Like, what is this? This is new. And service ended in an hour. And I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah, service is there.
I was like, this is intermission. They got intermission.
Intermission, right?
Like,
Yeah.
Like,
This is just the in-between.
You like, go.
Go home.
I had never had free time on a Sunday morning in my
sir.
life.
No, sir.
I was like, what do people do on Sunday mornings? Like, we go to brunch. I was like, what's brunch? Never heard of it,
There must be something cultural about that because, so I didn't grow up in this, but my wife did. She's half Korean, but culturally she's very Korean. And Koreans will stay at church on Sundays all day.
Yeah,
like
no, we ain't doing
they go at like 6 in the morning and
know what
then
that's
they
like.
leave at like 6 at night. They're there
Wow.
all day. So I don't know, if maybe it's just a cultural, different cultures.
Yeah. Yes, and I think for me, after that, I went to a multicultural church. It was the first time I saw Asians, Hispanics, black people, white people.
Oh, that's great.
All worshiping together, and I was like, what's going on? This is weird. Whoa, we don't do this together. Hold on, let's not look like heaven. Wait a minute. What's going on here?
Together?
What y'all doing?
And so by the time I finished college, my faith was at a place where it wasn't in the church. It was actually in Jesus. So this idea that we could have a faith that we sort of abandon because our church didn't do something that we like, or because my father did that. Like, I never connected my faith in God to faith in humans, ever. I never saw my dad as like, oh, my dad controls my faith in some way. It's like, no, my dad has a theology that's great, but like, I'm a person who believes in Jesus. There was this carpenter who lived 2,000 years ago, and like I just believe it myself. And so while I'm very grateful for my parents and grateful for my upbringing, I never felt like, oh, I need to be AME. And then the predominantly white church was Assembly of God. So it wasn't like, oh, I need to be AG. It was like, no, I got neighbors. I need to love them. So let's go figure that out. And hey, let's go make a difference in the world. And there's 13,000 different denominations just in America.
13,000?
13,000.
Just here in America.
Just in America.
Wow.
And so for me, I kind of just stepped back and just went, Well, I hope we all at least just believe in Jesus, and covenant's non-denominational, which I don't really know what that means.
Right. What does that
but
mean? Yeah.
nevertheless, I never had a season where I walked away, because for me, it was so solid growing up in the sense of like, it wasn't this hyper thing. It was like, for me, it was very logical of like, hey, if somebody can pull off their death, resurrection, and tell you that they're going to do it and come back 3 days later, I'm gonna do whatever that person says. And so for me, it was just it was a lot more. Where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
What am I gonna go do? I don't have anywhere else. I don't have this other life to go to.
Yeah.
And the people that had different lives than me, I wasn't jealous of any of them. And so I was like, I don't want to join you. You're sad.
Yeah.
Your life doesn't look fulfilling whatsoever. And I've been following Jesus since I was born, and I'm happy.
You're like, I'm good.
I've got joy. I got peace. I'm like, there's nowhere else for me to go.
So fast forward to now with what you've done with your coaching, with the books and all that, like, how was that, and maybe to put this correctly, like, how was that the driving force in what you're doing now?
Well, one day I was standing in church, and I realized, man, I was having a great time. I love what I do. I just realized that everyone there had friends and coworkers that would never come. And I thought,
coworkers that would never come.
And I thought, well, no matter what they do, beg them, bribe them, give them money, whatever they do, they're not coming. They're not coming. And that would sadden a lot of pastor friends of mine. I'm like, it doesn't sadden me. We just need to make a plan to go to them. And I said, if we could add so much value to a company, they would bring us to them. And so I see myself as I don't know if I would call myself a business missionary, but at the same time, I wake up every single day going, how can we create content that helps people in all facets of their life? On Sundays, I get to do that at church, and I go, we're going to have a great time today. And on Monday or Tuesday, I get to do that at a company. I go, we're going to have a great time today. And my goal, every time I hit a stage or get a microphone, is to go, I want this to be the best experience they've ever had.
That's great. I hear that, and I think about the job seekers as our audience, right?
Absolutely.
And you think about waking up, and for those of you that are out there that are believers, I mean, how much of a paradigm would it be to shift your focus on, hey, I got to get a job, hey, I got to get landed, hey, I need money, to how can I use my search as a witness, right? And flip that script about it being about you and about it being about others, how you can help others, and as part of your ministry. And if you're not a believer, what purpose, right? What purpose can you find as a greater calling than that? So
you'd be surprised how much control you have in an interview. You'd be surprised, because when you walk into a place, you can ask a simple question. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. Hey, how are you really doing? Who in the last 10 years has asked them twice? And you're just starting a conversation. You've already made yourself different than the other 10 people they interviewed the entire day. And you'd be surprised how many people will tell you how they're really doing if asked twice, because they actually believe you care. And you think about it, what kind of people do you want to hire? Especially if you're in customer service, people that actually care. And so I think, man, if you're in an interview, if you're just starting a job, if you're, in this kind of, beginning period, I just think add value. Continue to add value to people's lives in some way, shape, or another. Sometimes that's a skill set. Sometimes that's just being the type of person they went, we need more people like this in our office. We don't even know what they're going to do, but we need somebody that cares.
Somebody that cares,
Yeah, this guy's just adding value all over the place.
I mean, I think there's just so many ways that a person can do that if they have the mindset of going, how can we add value? I was on Zoom with a guy from Australia this morning, And the whole time I'm thinking, how can I add value to his life on another continent?
So I'm curious about that. Okay, so what are ways, because I had somebody ask me this the other day. She's like, I know, part of networking is helping other people, right? It's actually making it about them. That's a big part of networking. But how do I help a stranger, right? And I have
so fun.
I have a good answer. Yeah, you know that's where I'm going with this. I want to hear what you would do. How do you help a stranger that you don't know anything about them? What would you do?
Ask them.
Ask.
I mean, we feel, and COVID, I think, exacerbated this a little bit. We feel like you can't talk to people. You feel like it's illegal to talk to a stranger, and it's not.
Right. We've had a mask on.
Yeah, so it's like
you don't even make eye contact.
I'd be sitting next to someone on a plane that I normally would talk to and go, no, don't even want a droplet to fly up out of my mask and over to. It's like you just have these, and so you would just sit in silence for hours. But you really don't need permission to be kind, and so
you know what? And I think people are looking for an excuse to get out and to, to have conversations and things like that. Like I'll give you an example, crossing somebody in the hall, right? And I can tell they don't want to make eye contact. They're avoiding, that conversation, right?
Yeah.
But if you go out of your way and just, hey, how you doing, and smile at them, they will open up. It's like I don't know what it is. What do you think that is? Why are people doing that right now? They're avoiding conversations, but it's not because I don't know. It's like we've been trained over this last year.
Yeah, it just depends on who you are, I guess. I think that there's many variables that go into that. I think you're an important person. I don't want to bother you. I can't tell you how many times I've been like, hey, how you doing? And someone won't even answer. And we'll be in passing. And then I'll stop, turn around, and I'll grab. I asked you a question. How you doing? They're like, oh, I didn't know. They're like, good. I go, no, but are you good for real? And they didn't even expect. Because they thought it was, this is casual. This is just what we do as humans. But I would venture to say that humans are struggling more than they ever have. And I think we have underestimated the impact of a pandemic, especially around the world. I think in Texas it's a little bit different because we pretended like there never was one. But I think around the world, people... I think I have been very impactful. I think I've added a lot of value to my clients, especially over this last year, because I talk about some of these things and the impact a pandemic has had. And they're going, no one talks about it. No one's asking me how I'm doing at my home. No one cares about my marriage. So even if I'm not using chapter and verse in some of my corporate engagements, I might be the first person that they've had in a long time that even looks in a camera and just says, hey, your marriage actually matters, and you don't want to lose it in a pandemic. I can say that. What's wrong with saying that? Who's going to say that?
Wow.
In their sphere. And so I'm able to have an impact because I found that people mentally are, and I think 15 years ago, mental health wasn't a conversation. Especially for athletes. It was just like, either you could get over it, or you didn't even have the vernacular to talk about it. Whereas now, Olympic athletes can say, hey, I've got to focus on my mental, I'm just not in a good space to compete. And that's celebrated. It's like, yes, that's awesome. Yeah. And so I think what that means for us as believers is, I think the opportunity for us to minister to other people who are hurting is greater than ever. Because people are talking about it, people have awareness of some of the issues that they're having, and I think we have something to offer.
Absolutely.
Do you notice regionally, like Northeast, Southwest, Midwest, different? I mean, obviously here in Texas, we're Dallas is right at the end of the Bible Belt, so it's a little more accepted here. But receptiveness, right, or maybe unreceptiveness to some of what you're doing as far as your ministry side of it?
No.
No? Okay.
Here's what I've discovered. People are hurting everywhere.
Everywhere, yep.
Even in the Bible Belt. You know who's really hurting right now? Pastors.
Yes.
So if pastors are bleeding in the Bible Belt, just work your way down. Trust me, you're gonna find You're going to find pain everywhere. You're going to find discouragement everywhere. And so I see a difference of thought leadership, styles, value systems, what's important to them, liberal versus conservative. Some organizations just flat out tell me, we're a liberal organization. We're a conservative organization. Political affiliations, yeah, but every Republican I know, every Democrat I know experiences pain.
Right.
And so a lot of the issues that I'm tackling, and whether we're talking about failure, I know people that have failed in every state. There's not like one state they're like, well, no, we don't really fail. It's like, no. So these issues are, divorce is the same in Texas as it is in Chicago.
Yep.
Right.
You know,
well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about failure for just a quick second. Okay, your book, Chasing Failure. First of all, what made you write a book? I mean, you do all kinds of things. You speak on stages. You got, your podcast, super successful, all these different things, and now you're writing a book.
Yeah.
Why a book?
Books can go places. I'll never speak. A guy posted about my book yesterday from India. It's got one of the largest book followings.
Oh, wow.
In India. I've never been to India. And I have nothing against India. I just don't have any plans of being there anytime soon. No one's invited me to come to India and speak, but my book is in India. So it can go places. It can be in multiple places at once. Now, through technology, I can do that as well, but...
or you could teleport.
I could teleport if I had to teleport.
You could teleport.
Now you can teleport.
Yeah. And I also think that the book audience is just much different than your typical church audience or even your corporate audience. And there's some people that just books is...
That's their jam.
That's their world. And
that's
so,
Uni.
Uni,
yep.
Uni's a book.
Yep, she'll pick up a book and read it that day.
Yeah.
The entire book. Like
the whole book.
The whole book.
That's crazy to me. I can't do that.
Yeah, everyone's got their medium. There's some people that just consume radio.
Right.
I have not listened to the radio 20 years.
I can't really do the whole podcasting thing, right? Everybody, we got our own show and podcast and all that. I can't just listen to people talk. Why? Because that's what I do all day long. We're just talking, and I'm like, I can't just listen to people talk.
Yeah, I don't listen to podcasts. People are like, man, you should check out this podcast. I'm like, I'm sure it's awesome.
Yeah, but I can't.
But I talk all day long. Yeah. I'd rather call a friend and
I get invited to podcasts all the time. I love it.
I can go on them.
Yeah.
But I can't.
Yeah.
But and again, everyone has their medium of
of content.
And I think just for me, the ones that I enjoy the most are speaking and writing, and I just know a lot of people that just are afraid to fail, and I don't think they should be.
Well, let's talk about chasing failure, okay? Because I've heard, was it Denzel Washington? He's got fail forward. He has a whole speech about fail forward.
Yeah.
And I love it. Great speech.
Yeah.
But chasing failure is a little bit different. So like chasing failure sounds like you're going after something that you ain't got no business going after. You're going to fail, but you're going to do it anyways. You're like, first of all, is that part of it? Going after things like
I think it's about living a life, having a career that is not steered by the fear of failure.
Fear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Can I mess everybody up?
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Throw that wrench out there.
Throw that wrench out there. My dad always told me 3 considerations, but the number one was consider the source. So guys, let's consider that. So our definition of failure, is that God's definition of failure? And we're so quick to say that he's driving the car? That's just a question.
Well, but failure could be big, small, could be, I'll give you an example. Just today, we were doing a Zoom. We had our summit, and I got choked up.
Yeah.
My mic was messing up. I couldn't speak. To me, that was a failure. Was it in my control? No, wasn't in my control, but it was a failure. But what did I learn from it? I learned Mark is awesome, and he came with hot tea.
Yeah.
He came swooped in. I learned about him. That was a good lesson.
Yeah, I think it's important that a person is on a journey without fear.
A journey without fear.
A journey without fear.
Yeah.
I just, at our company, we're trying stuff every day. We're just trying stuff, and we're enjoying it. It's not chasing foolishness. It's chasing failure, and what that journey is, it's going, failure may come, it also may not come. But I'm okay with that journey. I'm okay losing. I'm okay, because I think when you talk about definition of failure, I don't think that in our minds, it's the actual failure itself. I think it's what's associated with it. What's associated, what is behind the curtain of failure is rejection. I'm afraid that if I fail, my friends, my family, my colleagues, strangers on the internet that maybe have access to my LinkedIn profile will think I'm not as important, that I'm not as valuable, that I'm not as cool, that they won't love me as much as they'll love someone else who is, in their minds, successful. But the more and more I spend time with successful people, what you find behind the scenes is a lot of failures. I work for professional athletes. They miss a lot of shots.
Yeah.
There's only one champion, one MVP, one defensive player of the year. Is everybody else a failure? No. You make $40 million a year. You're fine. Okay? But again, for them, they can walk away and feel like, I'm a failure. It's like, yeah, but you're not. You just got to look around. And so the media may not celebrate you as much as someone else. And you might not be a Hall of Famer in this person's eyes, but that's all.
Well, on that note, okay, so let's talk about your story with the NBA. I want you to tell the audience a little bit, because I know it.
Sure.
Chasing failure in the NBA.
Chasing failure in the NBA. So, I've been asking this question, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And I asked that question in the book. And for me, it was, I'd be in the NBA. And so I reached out to a few NBA teams. I just started emailing them one by one. Not even sure if that would work, but I found a website that has the public relations emails for every NBA team, and so I just started sending pitches to them. It's like, this is not going to work at all. What is wrong with you, And so, but I was like, I'm going to do it anyways because I don't have another plan. And the Celtics first said, no, good idea, it's just not for us. And I was like, oh man, rejection. Of course, it's not for you. And then I thought, man, that didn't feel good, getting told no and rejected by the Celtics. And then I thought, wait a minute, did the Celtics just email you back? Like, what kind of day is this? This is not normal. And so then I got excited. I was like, all right, I'm going to make a documentary on being told no by all 30 NBA teams. It's going to be great. And so I'm like, I can't wait to get a no from all of them. It's going to be amazing. And on the 5th email, the Phoenix Suns said yes. And so I like to tell people, NBA teams don't give workouts to motivational speakers on Mondays, but every now and then they make an exception. But again, there is this thought that if I were to tell you that I was doing that and you didn't know how the story ended, you would go, Ryan, that's not going to work. And that's how so many people live. They have made all of these calculations. That's not going to work. 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 And I just don't live in that world anymore.
Job seekers.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many people since this documentary has come out, because the documentary came out in 2016, okay? Even since this book has come out, I can't tell you how many people have applied for crazy jobs that they were not qualified for and got them. They went, there's no way. I don't have that degree. I don't have that qualification. But they're just like, I'm not going to apply at all. I'm like, what do you have to lose? All they can tell you is no.
That's it.
What is, okay, great. So I think that's just that's a part of the deal. I have a speakers bureau that will put me in proposals to companies all across the nation. Fortune 500 company looked at me and another speaker, and they chose the other speaker. So, does that make me any less successful? Does that make me any less talented? Does it make me, and again, getting that no of like, hey, they didn't choose you, it's like,
you got the look.
oh my God. But again, it's like,
But I always look at that again, like you said, you got to learn from it. So for me, it's like when I get told no, I want feedback.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going to get upset about it, but I want to learn through that. I want to say, okay, well, what did that guy do? What value did that other guy bring to the table that I wasn't bringing?
Absolutely.
What was it that I can do better? How can I improve? So for the job seekers out there, when you go to a round of interviews and then they tell you no, shoot, like, I want to know why, right? Feedback. But what would you tell to maybe a job seeker who's getting a lot of rejection?
Yeah.
It's hard to get feedback. It's hard. It really is. A lot of these companies
They won't give it.
Give it
for legal reasons.
Yeah.
They're afraid of being sued.
Sure.
They won't tell them why they didn't hire them. And so they're kind of in the dark. They're getting a lot of rejection. They're getting ghosted. And so you have that going on over and over and over, and it kind of starts to eat at you and your confidence. I feel like for you're a pretty confident guy. I feel like you're a bold guy, You're not living in fear.
No, I'm not living in fear.
So
I wouldn't say I'm always confident. I would just say I kind of have this equilibrium of going, my identity is not on the line today.
Ooh.
My brand is not on the line today. My
my
popularity isn't on the line today. If someone thinks that my sermon or my speech or my keynote is like this isn't I don't have a defining moment today. It's just a moment. I get to enjoy my life. And so sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. I just kind of I'm kind of even keeled.
Do you feel like that's a mindset that can be learned?
I think so. I think for me, I truly believe the scripture that says godliness with contentment is in itself great wealth. And so if you find yourself in a place of contentment, I think you're the wealthiest person on the planet.
You're absolutely right.
And
reload.
I know,
right there.
I know,
Reload
I
part.
know so many people that that have money and they're just all day. And I'm like,
It's not
and I know
about
broke
money.
people.
It's not about
I know broke
money,
people
guys.
who are like, we're good.
What you just described, okay, when you said, is my father. My father has peace.
Yeah.
And he's content.
Right.
And he's not wealthy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, he's always had enough. Yep. He's always had enough, but he's not wealthy, but he's got peace. And I always look at him and I'm like, man, you know what? And he travels more than anybody I know, and has done more things, and I'm like, I want some of what you got.
Right.
He's
That's
got
right.
that,
You were about to say something, but I want to answer your question, so you go first.
I was just gonna say I've got more questions, but I know we probably need to go to a break.
No, but go ahead.
You want to go? Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I think about that person that's being told no, that's got, double-digit rejections. The answer to the question of going, what are you learning from those failures, and what do you say to that person isn't one that they're going to love, because I have a friend that applied for 20, 30 jobs and had spelling errors, many grammatical errors all throughout their resume. Like, you sent this to 30 people. Would you hire you? I mean, it's a tough pill to swallow, but on some level, you've got to
accountability.
You've got to look in the mirror, and again, I would say even listening to previous episodes of this show, of going, am I hireable? And I think that's very important. And I think for your family, friends that also are employed, to have them look at it. Have them look at what you're submitting. Have them. I pray that you have some friends in your corner that can be honest with you, that can say, hey, here's some things that we're looking for. Here are some things that I would adjust to make your resume really, really stand out. And again, you guys give a bunch of those tips, but at some point, if you've got 15 rejections, again, the market is the market. But at the same time, I think there are ways that you can make yourself stand out, and you've got to be. Here's what I've learned about people with resumes. It's personal. And why would you, if you're good at putting together a resume, that's not a good thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so
yeah.
I remember I did headhunting for a while. And I remember talking to this guy, and I was kind of beating him up about his resume. And he goes, Ryan, I'm a pastor. Why would I be good at this? I went, no, you're right. You're right. And I gave him some grace. Because I go, why should you be good at this?
Yeah.
But what I've learned is people are so emotionally attached to that piece of paper. You have to remove that emotional attachment.
Yeah, I tell people you're so much more valuable than the words on that piece of paper. This 2 pieces of paper right here, that does not define your value.
No.
At all.
All it does is you can do that.
What it
matter
does
of
is
fact,
open up an opportunity for you to have a conversation with somebody, and
Right.
you might connect with that person. If you connect with that person, then we'll consider some things here.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys, we got to go to a real quick break. I love this conversation.
Oh,
Don't go
man.
anywhere. We'll be right back. Ryan Leake when we come back.
You know you have something unique to offer your next employer, whether it's your experience or your work ethic or your passion or your personality. But how do you stand out from the crowd when you're stuck sending plain text emails that lack personality, lack humanity, and worst of all, look like every other email in the inbox? Job seekers just like you are discovering how easy it is to put their humanity back into their communication and back into their job search with BombBomb Video. Visit bombbomb.com to start a free trial today and rehumanize your job search.
Mark and Trevor were fantastic at providing tips I wasn't even aware of. But it wasn't just tips. It was additional networks, free services from professionals providing their time, volunteering their time, and even some very strong paid resources.
Thank you for making the job search more productive and connecting with the right people. Everything that you all are doing, your whole team was amazing. The experience was phenomenal.
Then I attended the Career Transition Summit and got a few new tips that really helped and energized me. And now I have an offer letter.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
who you know
Mark said
can
it.
make all the difference in your job search.
it sure can.
Wow, and you guys know it's true.
Hey guys, we're super excited. We've been talking about chasing failure with my man Ryan Leake. Ryan, I know we talked about you speak on stages, churches. You've got your podcast now, your book. I've got a question for you. Have you ever thought about creating a course?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so. It's just a matter of the right timing, the right content. Again, I'm always thinking through the lens of what's going to add the most value to someone's life, defining who that someone is. And I have two audiences. I've got a corporate audience and a faith audience, and so thinking about what the course, who's it for,
sure,
and I think that is part of the chasing failure journey for me too, is really just exploring options. So I've met with online course creators and going, okay, let's think about how this will work. And I think you got to be smart about it and figure out, okay, is this the right timing to do X, Y, and Z? And so, so
And maybe
in
do
the
I need
future.
to do 2 courses or maybe blend the 2 to speak to both audiences at the same time?
Oh yeah.
That's a big.
Well, what is next for you? What are you going to do next? You wrote the book. By the way, how's the book doing?
You did your part.
It's in India. It's in India.
Yeah,
I feel like you're just so humble, man.
You did your part.
You do it.
I wrote it. You know, it's out. I mean, it hit a bunch of lists, and you know,
doing pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is there's no
Best answer.
there's no like book measurements are just, you know, like it's in Target. Like, oh my gosh, you're in Target. It's like, yeah, but it's just in Target. It's like once it's in Target, it's there. People can buy it, and like, you know, like you can measure it. But you know, if I told you I sold 26,000 versus 21,000, like, does it really? You know, it's like it doesn't. It's not. There isn't a real.
Like a metric to.
No, and then when you're a published author, you get a big advance, and so you have to sell hundreds of thousands of books before you even like start getting like royalties or whatever. So it really has. I mean, again, it's a very successful book, but like,
right
where it. I mean, it hits the list and it's on the list, and then you know you just kind of.
I was going to ask you a question before the break, so I'll ask it now, and it pertains to what we were talking about earlier, which is you've seen a lot of people hurting, right?
Yeah.
People are hurting everywhere.
Yeah.
You're specifically talking about chasing failure and the concept of that. There are a lot of people that are chasing things, right?
yeah.
And we're talking about job seekers. We're talking about people that are successful and what they're chasing, but still at the same time they're hurting. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that are chasing the job. They're chasing the cars, the house, all these things that really at the end of the day don't matter to them.
No, they don't.
They don't matter to them. They're not things that they necessarily even want. They think they want them, but they don't.
Yeah.
So can you speak to that? Is that a component of what you talk about in your chasing failure?
Yeah, you know, I think it's
finding happiness, maybe.
Yeah, well, I think it's very important that in whatever we're, let's use a different word, pursuing, okay? Whenever a person is pursuing something, I think all of us have to have that internal dialogue of going, why?
Why?
Why am I doing this? You know, I know people that have $3,600 apartments a month that they're never in because they work 100 hours a week. You know, it's just like, well, why do you need why? You know, it's like and so again, I think everyone has to have their core why and know, and it should be a good one. And so I think in anything that a person is pursuing, I want to start my own business. Why?
Why?
You know, and let that why go deep. Well, because I want to be rich. Why? Like, I know a lot of rich people, and I don't know if you want to be there.
Exactly.
And so, like, why? Like, what is? Because I want to be admired. I want to have a lot of followers. Why? Mm-hmm. Why do you want people to follow you? Where are they going to go? Where are you taking them?
Right.
That's exactly the answer that I was looking for, which is, you know, there's a lot of job seekers, some that maybe are watching, that they're chasing a job, they're chasing an ideology.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself why, right?
Well, yeah. And I feel like for most of them, right, we talk about this all the time, at the core of it comes down to necessity. It comes down to this.
Yeah.
Right? But why that job though, right? Like whatever path you're on, what got you on that path, whether it's like IT or whatever, like how did you get into that path? How do you know that there's not another path that might be better suited for you? What got you there?
Right, because you're chasing it in your why.
Yep, why?
May be there, but you're chasing something that you don't like.
Yeah, you might not like it.
You don't like doing.
Most people, like, I think the stats are like 70% of Americans hate what they do for a living. They hate it.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of grew up old school. You know, it was that you only had one job, and then you retired. Now I think the transition, where you see people moving from one job to another, it's like every 12 to 18 months, someone's looking for a new job. And again, I think that's part of the American dream that especially younger generations have gone, oh, I don't need a job, I need my dream job. It's like, well, you got bills. Like, and so there needs to be a display of like, hey, I'm going to give my best to the job I currently have. And I think, man, one of my, I wouldn't even call it one of my favorite verses. It's one of my favorite statements after a few verses. And Jesus says this, he says, your Father who sees everything will reward you. Your Father who sees everything. It's in the Sermon on the Mount. And I just think sometimes we forget our Father sees everything. And you might be working a job that you cannot stand, but you cannot forget your Father who sees everything might be preparing another job for you in the future that if you're not doing well with what you have, why would he give you more? And so I think a lot of people see successful people and think that's where they started. No.
He pulled me out of corporate America in the way that things were going, and I made a lot of money, you guys. And he pulled me out of that. I didn't know what was going on, but I kept living. My dad just tell me, keep living, son, keep living. And all of a sudden, I started doing what I like doing. The money's not there, but you know what? I wouldn't go back. That money be nice, but I wouldn't go back to what I was doing before. I serve now. And I understand a lot better what the Bible says in the scripture. And I can see it come alive, and I chase. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm happy. Y'all got to deal with me.
That is awesome. Well, we've had a lot of mic drop moments, so I do want to make sure we don't forget the audience. Let's go to the audience real quick. So who you got here? Because we got to give some stuff away, man. I got to make sure we get this audience get the hookup round here.
Right.
Okay. So I see Penny.
Spring.
I see Andrea. How are you? Michaela, good to see you. Kat O'Toole, how are you doing? Good to see all of you. Okay.
Andrea and Michaela, you guys have been blowing up the comments. I love it, man.
What's a good question mark that we can ask the audience?
Oh, yeah.
And, let's see if we can give some stuff away. By the way, while you're thinking of that, while you think of a question.
Okay.
This I'd like to give to you, sir.
Oh, I
hooking
appreciate
you up with
thank you,
one of them
man.
ice shakers, man.
The who you know,
baby.
Who you know.
We're family,
Awesome.
so you're part of the who you know.
Who you
nation.
know?
That's great.
All right, I got a question. So he was chasing the NBA, and he got a bunch of no's, but he did get a yes. What team?
Oh, yeah. What team was that?
the yes?
That's a good
That's
one.
the question?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That's
we never
the
even
question.
finished it, did we? We never even finished that whole story.
The whole story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then
I tried out for the Phoenix Suns, and I failed.
Oh, no.
So I don't know.
Tried out for the
You gave him the answer.
All right, I got.
Oh, I gave them. I'm not supposed to answer
No,
it.
they're gonna guess.
This is for the job seeker.
For the job
Oh.
to win the prize.
I know, but you looked at me like that's the question. I was like, oh, am I supposed to answer?
So here's another question.
Okay, well, like, what's my middle name? Like, what are we doing?
He said
I
that
don't
there
know
is
that.
a restaurant potentially coming to the Dallas area. What restaurant is that?
Okay, tell us the restaurant in the comments.
Okay. Oh, you know what I
Park, if
realized?
you're
I don't
listening,
think
you know.
I don't think I told them.
You didn't.
You did.
You did.
Yeah, I did. Did I say the Phoenix Suns before?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
I did?
You did.
You did.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But finish the story while
No,
we're waiting
no.
on the comments.
waiting on the comments,
Finish
yeah.
the finish
you
story.
tried out.
You tried out.
And I failed. Best day of my life. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh,
I
that's
do it
awesome.
again.
That's
I would do it
awesome.
again.
That's great.
Oh wow!
great.
I couldn't ask for better. That was good.
We had a bunch of people, son.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the stuff
my
started
bad.
coming through.
My bad.
Okay, now,
all right.
now, what restaurant, guys,
Yep,
did he
what
mention
restaurant?
that's coming to Texas?
It's my favorite.
Kimberly
so if
Bird.
you guys know me,
I know
you'll know.
you keep your mouth shut, girl, because
Scott says no clue. No clue. That's so funny. He has no idea.
Yeah, they don't know what that is.
Scott.
Oh, the only person that would be able to answer that is a person from Chicago. But
Yep.
Oh, it's
Here
good.
it comes.
It's testing you guys to see if you were
Yep,
listening.
James is close. He's close.
Ooh, James, man.
Yep.
Somebody Somebody out there is going to get it, you guys.
So how did it go? Like, you failed. You failed the tryout. Like,
Oh yeah.
how bad was good?
It wasn't bad. It wasn't.
It was bad,
Like,
okay.
it was. What people need to understand about the National Basketball Association is, I fit in, but people don't fit in the NBA. They stand out. They're outstanding. Like, you can't just like, I can hang, I can run, I'm in shape, but they're outstanding. They're outstanding shooters.
Far above and
They're
beyond.
outstandingly athletic. They're like, I was just a dude running around. If you were there, you wouldn't be like, well, who is that guy and what is he doing here? It would just be like, oh, he's just a guy.
There's a guy.
He's just a
running.
dude.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like they were just so far and above. It was just, they're all outstanding, and I just fit in. But they don't pay you millions of dollars to fit in. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
All right, so we got some answers coming in, but they are not correct, okay? But here's the deal.
Lane Peeler's pretty close.
Here's the deal, because I got Lane. He says Piccadilly. Piccadilly? No, that's
You know
not
what?
it.
Tell him to send us his address. Well, that's close enough.
That's close?
That's close. I mean,
All right.
no one else is
Yeah,
guessing it.
nobody's getting it.
Nobody's getting it. Yeah, and if
Because they
if
wouldn't
you-
remember that.
Right. If
Yeah.
you're not from Chicago.
Yeah,
or
you're not
frequent
gonna
there,
remember that
yeah.
name.
Because no one cares about the Bears, Mark.
Oh,
Okay,
it's-
so we
oh,
have
it's all
this
about the
inside
Bears.
joke because everybody that comes here is always from Chicago, so he starts getting into the Bears, and I'm a Cowboys fan, and so this is
This
was
is the
rivalry.
thing.
So no
Yeah.
one cares about the Bears.
I get
All
it.
right, I'll give you guys the answer. He's going to give it to.
Laurie Oken, are you with us? Because I know you know.
Well, yeah, some people will know.
He
We've
said
got
Lane.
some-
We're gonna give it to Lane.
Okay,
Lane
so
Peeler.
Lane will
Congrats.
get it. So the actual answer is Portillo's.
Portillo's.
Portillo's hot
beef.
dogs. And
Oh my God.
Actually, the hot dogs are good, but it's the Italian beef.
It's the
sandwich.
beef,
So
yeah.
I don't know if it's
Beef.
like. So here's what happened. I heard that it went public,
Oh.
and so restaurants that typically go public become national chains.
Yeah.
So it would be coming down here via that.
Okay.
So there's not like a location. Correct.
Picked out, yeah,
Yeah,
specified.
yeah.
Okay, well,
I don't
hey,
wanna-
I'm
I don't want
I'm
to spread
waiting.
rumors.
I'm waiting.
We
Yeah.
could
So
we
if
could
that's the
buy
rumor,
some
I'm
stock.
waiting.
You know,
I am going to buy some stock if it's.
I've got some beef in my refrigerator right now that Kimberly Burke, you brought me.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, Lane, you won you a copy of
Lane.
Chasing Failure. Congratulations to you with Piccadilly, is what he said. Piccadilly. And
Yeah, the P and
Rosemary's-
the L.
hey, he's in there. He was in there.
Yeah.
But hey, Chasing Failure.
Yeah, he went
Jason-
for it.
He went
and he
for
won.
it.
And he won. And he still won.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
I love that. I love
Rosemary
that.
is the closest, but we already gave it away, so.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. It's all
It's all about.
who ya
ya
know.
know.
Here's the proof.
Bye.
Trevor Houston here, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Who You Know Job Networking Show. We hope you've been inspired, encouraged, educated, and entertained all at the same time. For information on our different events, workshops, partners, or partnership opportunities available, check out whoyouknow.show for more details. And be on the lookout for our new mobile app coming soon. You never know how this show could help someone you know? And if we've made an impact or put a smile on your face today, don't forget to hit that share button on your way out. Until next week, it's all about who you know. Bye.
Oh. Yeah. Faith without works is dead. I don't wanna die so soon. I got moves to make instead. I ain't scared, I'm prepared. Big ideas inside my head. I'm gonna make them manifest. And I'm dressed for success. I left, right, order my steps. Network.